How to realign your SLCM in case it's out of alignment or it's been removed or you're replacing it or something similar. The SLCM is the sliding roof control module. The reason this is called a sliding roof control module and not a sunroof control module is because this is not a sunroof. Obviously, there's no glass. So anyways, let's get to it. We got to remove our console. We're going to push, twist 90 degrees. Now I'm going to lower this down and disconnect the electrical connector. I can't do that with one hand, so hang on. What you do is you tilt it down a little bit and you pull it this way. So as you can see, I've already done some wiring repair here. This connector is actually what caused mine to fail, so I've replaced that. Alright, so there's our SLCM in its correct location. Here's our sunroof motor. So I recommend, if you can, putting the sunroof in what you think is probably the resting position first. It's not, you don't need to, but it's a good idea. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lower this, move it over here, and there is a Phillips head screw to remove the bracket for the sun visor. You're going to need to take that down, and the reason for that is you need to pull this down, and that's what holds it up. So now we're going to take our hand, we're going to put it behind it, and we're going to grab the clip. Now let me see, I think I have a spare SLCM here somewhere. This is what it looks like. This is what the clip on the back side looks like. Very important, you put your hand up here, press that in, you pull it down. So let's do that now. Push it in, pivot it down, pull it out. Disconnect our electrical connectors. The way it operates is that the cables, these two cables that drive the sunroof, the sliding roof, have a slit cut in one side, and that slit and cable fits into the SLCM, and this is what tells the SLCM the position of the sunroof. So that is why it is very critical for this to be installed in the correct position. So I'm going to now make sure we get the sliding roof in the correct position. There is usually a panel here. That panel should be removed. So the way you're going to remove the panel is by taking two hands from the outside, very, very clean hands that aren't as cut up as mine, and you're going to reach in here and you're going to grab this panel and you're going to pull it straight out, gently but firmly, if you know what I mean. The point you need to measure at for realignment, there is, see this guy? Let me see if I can get something to point with here. This piece here at this edge needs to be, come on, focus, needs to be 8 millimeters from this little edge here. But what you can do is you can take a drill bit and slide a drill bit in between these two here, like that. Let me see if I can better point to you what the notches you're measuring against. There we go. I'm going to catch my nail on it. That is what you need to measure against. It needs to be 8 millimeters from the edge of this mechanism here. Also, I should mention, in case you don't already know, the way you move the sliding roof is by inserting a flat blade screwdriver into this motor here, and that's how you move it back and forth. An important note about aligning the motor in the correct position is that the way this cam drive works is that when you turn it, it moves the cam up that engages the gear, and then it needs to snap back. So you need to make sure that the cam is disengaged in order for the motor gear to be connected to the actual motor itself. And that sounds like a bunch of jibber jabber, so I actually have a motor here to show you. This is one that is not engaged. See how the center part is a little bit high. I know this thing is gross. It came out of a salvage yard. Let me show you what happens when it is properly engaged. All you need to do is kind of bump the gear. I'm going to put a screwdriver in it. Just kind of nudge it. There we go. See that? So you got to make sure that when you turn this a little bit and you nudge it, it makes a little snap to make it to lock it in place. Or else what happens is you're going to start it up, get it all aligned, and all it's going to do is make a buzzing noise because the gear is not actually connected to the motor. So let me see if this one is engaged. There we go. Now it's good to go. There's our snap. And I can feel a little spring tension on it now, so that means we're ready to go. Now gets to the interesting part. We need to install our SLCM. The way you tell if the gear is lined up, you look into the sight glass, or it's not a sight glass, but you look into this sight here, and there will be 2 white dots. They are aligned right now. Let me misalign them so you can see. There we go. So you got to make sure those white dots are lined up like that. It may take you a long time to find it if it's really misaligned, but we're going to line them up like this. Now we're ready to reinstall the SLCM. There is a tab here. This tab slots into this tab, and then we're going to attempt to reconnect this clip. Alright, we're on the tab. Now I'm going to put my hand back here. You would think you would just pop it in, but it actually takes some fighting sometimes. There we go. Didn't really make a click, but I can feel with my finger that the clip is now in place, and if I pull it, it doesn't come out. Let's reconnect our electrical connectors. Now I'll plug in our switch and we'll test the system. It should go without saying your hands need to be extremely clean before you handle this. You can see someone did not do that and they ruined it. This stuff is really hard to clean. Alright, so I got it plugged in. Let's see if this thing operates. So this will be back. Looks good. Now let's go forwards. Alright, let's try tilt. Let's go backwards. And then let's go open again. I have the engine running because it gives it a little extra voltage. I'm going to shut it now. We'll let you see the mechanism. Go tilt, and now back down, and there we go. Now we're going to pop this guy back up there. For reinstallation, it's going to be a lot trickier. There are 4 tabs, one here, and 2 over there. You need to place the panel in until it's just about lined up, and then you're going to push the whole panel up and then slot it forward. That is how it gets installed. You don't have to drag it along the roof really sharply and then push it up. You just put it in position, almost in position, lift it up, and then slot it into the clips. There are some springs in here that are going to be a pain, but just work with it, be patient, and you'll be good to go.